Um, One, can you hear me? Sometimes I turn down this mic. What's that say? Oh, good. Hunk of junk. Anyway, oh, there's nobody here yet, so that's okay. Got this dinky memory card that I put in this thing that records the audio, and it's dinky. It's very dinky. So maybe I need to add it. What I like to do is, do I even need to do it? I like to record everything separately so that I can just make clips out of it, but I'm not even going to mess with it. I'm not messing with it. How are we doing today? Who's in here? Herb. What's up, Herb? How you doing, man? Herb says, hey. I just wanted to throw that up on the screen. Lucas. What's up, Lucas? Lucas says hi. I look really tired today, so forgive me. Oh my God. Hot Potato says hi. Hello. What's up, guys? Kev, what's up, Kev? Kev says, hey, DB. What was I was just gonna say something, guys. Just gonna say something, and now I can't remember. Luis says hi. What's up, Luis? Look, we're just throwing you guys all up on the screen. This is fun. This is really fun. Antonio says, hey. What's up, Antonio? You guys are awesome. You guys make my Fridays a little bit better. I hope I make your Fridays a little bit better too. I had such a good story, and now I can't even think of it. Oh, we got to take Antonio off of this. Luis, Luis, I do not remember. Where are you from? Are you from Woodward? Where are you from, Luis? Guys, how's the audio sound? All right, hold on. I like to have this have the live up on screen so I can kind of watch it. Oh, look, there's me talking. Is quality that bad? Okay. It's just how it came up. All right, cool. Audio's good. Quality's half decent. Let's go. Let's go. Jesse. Hey, what's up, Jesse? How you doing? Um, Hold on. We gotta put you guys on screen. Jesse goes crazy in El Paso. Jesse's a really good rider. Jesse, thank you for hanging out with me. Appreciate it. Audio a lie. Audio's good. Wait, I missed somebody. Oh, Sarah. Sarah says, hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Good job, Lucas. So Lucas has been getting better at skating so he can film his friends. That's really important. If your friend, it's so hard to film while rolling on a bike, but filming while rolling on a board's a little bit easier. Now, if you're extra good, you'll film with rollerblades. And I think that's the way to go, Lucas. So get some rollerblades. But Lucas, I can't remember what I was looking for on YouTube, and your video came up, Lucas, and it was, your BSD build. It's like, dude, that thing's almost at 1 million views. Like, good job. Here, let's find it. Let's find it. We're gonna make everyone in here who has not watched it watch it. Lucas Stip BMX. It's gotten you 5,000 subscribers too. How crazy is that? That is so dope, Lucas. So dope. And you're monetized. Lucas is making money off YouTube now. Oh, 706,000 views. Wow. Wow, guys. Check this out, guys. This is Lucas. This guy, Lucas, right here. He's in the chat. So check out this video. Wow. God, why? I look so tired. I think it's because this light's coming down, maybe. I think that should help. I don't know. Oh, well, just ignore it. I didn't sleep very much. I don't sleep very much. Tom, what's up, Thomas? How you doing, man? Thomas says hi there. How's everything been, dude? I saw a comment about shoes, and I also saw, that video on Bike School working on the Fakies. Where are you at with your Fakies? Actually, I just saw somebody else talking about Fakies. Luis is from Romania, and he was having trouble getting out of a Fakie. Luis, have you gotten Fakies figured out now, or are you still working on them? Let me know. I'm very curious. I've got to know. I've got to know. It's the mankind version of the hub. What are we talking about? Oh, is the mankind version a good hub? I don't know. Let's look. I don't think so, but I don't know too much about mankind. Um, oh, vision, mankind vision, not version. Did you say version? Oh, you said vision. My bad. I mean, basically, for a hub, I've had very few hubs actually give me problems. Like for the most part, as long as they have sealed bearings, they're pretty solid. Like some other things go into it, like how loud you want your cassette to be with how many points of engagement there is, all that good stuff. But for the most part, cassettes have been around so long that like the technology is pretty reliable. So even a cheap cassette's going to be half decent. But it looks clean. It looks really clean. I've never really seen much of Mankind's stuff though. Um, and I'm sure it's sealed bearings. Yeah, sealed bearings. Yeah, dude, it looks pretty solid. How much is it? Even the Ezra. Have you guys heard of Ezra? Ezra has hubs. So Ezra's like Eastern's kind of knockoff brand, and they make hubs, and those hubs are really solid because again, all it is it's the driver with some sealed bearings. So, bro, very frustrating. Why aren't you working? Oh my god. Anyway, I'm sorry. I saw some guy comment on one of my videos and he's like, this dude's hilarious when he gets up or when he's disappointed in something. And I'm like disappointed all the time. Google's broken. I'm trying to type and it's like not typing. So anyway, mankind vision. I can't give you a good answer. I'm sorry, but it's sealed. I don't know the price. That's the only thing, but it seems half decent. So okay, we got a good amount of comments. Guys, throw in your questions here so that I have something to talk about. If you guys have any questions, I guess. If you don't have any questions, I'll just come up with stories to tell. I'm not sure. Um, I saw Lucas say something about, oops, not that one. Oh, he finished his Sunday street sweeper build months ago, but he can't find any music. Yeah, you now, hey, quick question, Lucas, was your BSD build, was that royalty free music or are you unable to monetize it? Or are you able to monetize it, but it's shared monetization? How's that work? Because yeah, for this one, you want to get something that's I mean, if you want to monetize your street sweeper build, then you want to get something that's like that you can make money off of with having the music. Envato, here, I'm going to send you, you can look at this. It's called Envato Marketplace, but you buy your digital assets, whatever you want to use. So Envato Element's a monthly subscription. I don't really like that. But if you go here, let's look real quick. Audio. And then royalty free music and audio from just $1. So I'll send you this link. And then look through some of the music in here. Now, granted, 90% of it sucks. Like it's not, but that's why it's cheap music. So 90% of it sucks. And here, that's like the, will it let me send that? A that link takes you to Envato, and that's where like I'll buy royalty free music sometimes. That way you can monetize it with no issues, and it's pretty cheap depending on which song you buy. Okay, yeah, you monetized it. That's solid. That's solid. Okay, here we go. I'm looking here. We see Thomas is still progressing on fakies. Okay, good. Dude, you got that one. Like that one that you posted, you definitely landed. So It's only I said it's only uphill from here, and I didn't mean it's going to get harder. Like, I mean, they're only going to get better from there on out. And so I'm hyped to see the progress, man. I'm super hyped. I bet it's getting cold where you're at, huh? Okay, Luis got help with Fakies months ago, and he almost got his first 180 yesterday. Congrats, Luis. That's super, super sick, man. I remember my progression from fakie to 180 was a lot longer. Like, I learned fakies and then I kind of learned 180s, but not really. Like, I could do it on a bank. Like, I could go up a bank in 180 and turn around, but I could never roll on the ground and like do a full 180 into the fakie. And then I learned the way that I fakie was the wrong way. Like you call it Indian giver, and it means when you if you 180 to the left, you should fakie out also to the left. So if you 180 to the left and fakie out to the right, it just makes a really goofy looking 180 fakie, and people make fun of you for it. And so then I had to relearn my fakies because of that. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. But congrats, Luis. Good job. Okay. Scooby Tech says, quick question before I have to leave. How do I practice once it starts to snow? So Scooby Tech, we're working on some drills for our bike school members that you guys can do like in the garage or even in your house. And they're not necessarily like trick progression drills, but they're more like bike control drills so you can still stay fresh on the bike. Like for me, if I don't ride for over a week, I feel really rusty. Like I get on and I just don't feel connected to my bike like I normally do. And so I think it's important throughout the winter to still have that connection to your bike, even if it's not actually doing tricks, so that when winter's gone, you can start riding again and you feel comfortable riding. And so we're working on some of those for our members. I don't know, stuff might end up on the Bike School YouTube. I doubt it, but I don't know. But with that being said, like just find ways that you can spend time on your bike, even if you're not going to be like riding it. Like say practice tricks on your back. You can like stand on your bike and what do you call it, like a racer stance. I think it's like where you're standing with both feet but you're not actually going anywhere, and that's incredibly hard because you've got to have a certain level of balance to be able to execute that. So there's a lot of different things you can do without actually riding. Now you still need like a garage or a living room or something like that. Like you don't want your mom to kill you because you ran into the TV. So find somewhere that like you can just do really basic things on your bike so that you're able to still stay connected to it. That's hard. I spent a few years in Montana, and every year when it would snow, I wouldn't be able to ride. Now I worked in a shop and we had like a pretty big warehouse, but it's just not as fun. Like, oh, I do some bunny hop bar spins and stuff like that, but it's not the same. So it's really hard to still stay passionate about it throughout the winter. And so then that's where I would recommend people, dude, play some like BMX video games or play some bike video games. Riders Republic, I guess, is out now and it's supposed to be pretty decent for bikes. They're going to add BMX eventually. You've got pumped BMX, you've got street pipe BMX. You've got a lot of different options that you can do to still like stay passionate about the sport and then work on those drills in your house and things like that. Yeah, that's really tough because it's also different for everybody. Like what's your level of tolerance to it? How passionate are you for it? Are you able to stay like just super hyped about BMX throughout all of winter, or do you kind of get tired of it and get over it and move on to something else? I don't know. But yeah, hopefully that helps a little bit. Lucas says make a ski bike. That's an interesting idea. I would love one. I want to go snowboarding so bad this year. And when I lived in Montana, I'd go snowboarding like every weekend. And let's see. Yeah. And I'd go snowboarding like every weekend. And then I was like, I really want to build a ski bike and go like, I guess, bike boarding. Is that what you'd call it? I don't even know what you'd call it. But oh no, it's Kevlar talking about my bang. Herb says, if you had to pick Kink Whip or Cult Devotion, ooh, that's tough. That's really tough. Let me pull up my score sheet because I was actually looking at how well they scored, like the value factor, and they're very close. They are very close. The biggest thing here that you need to like think about when you're deciding between the whip or the devotion, quality wise, they're about the same, right? Full chromoly, double wall rims, they're about the same quality wise. Your main differences are that the devotion comes with 2 pegs and it costs a little bit more. So if you're okay with spending a little bit more money and getting 2 pegs because you want to learn feebles and double pegs and things like that, the devotion would probably be the better way to go. But the devotion has really big geometry. So the Cult Devotion has a 21-inch top tube and a 13.6-inch chainstay, which is just going to feel incredibly stable. And if you're a tall guy, go with the devotion for sure, because it comes with the pegs. It's only a little bit more money. So like 6'3", 6'2", 6'4", somewhere around there, go with the devotion, because that 21 is going to feel nice for you, and the longer chainstay is going to feel stable. So it's not going to feel like your bike's going to loop out from under you all the time. If you're smaller, go with the kink whip and the 20.5. Now the kink whip has an XL, which is going to be 21 inches, but the devotion chainstay is still a lot longer. So if you like to ride, say, trails, or go high and go fast in park, that longer chainstay is going to feel a lot more stable on the devotion than the 13.2-inch chainstay on the kink whip. You really, like, if you're taller, if you're over 6 foot and you're looking between the kink whip XL or the Cult Devotion, like, either one that you choose, you're not going to go wrong. Like, they're both really solid. They're both really good for the price, and you're not going to go wrong either way. If you're a smaller guy, go with the 20.5 kink whip. Like, that's the best way I can put it. But in terms of value and price, they're pretty close. So it's not a huge difference. Okay. Oh my God. It keeps skipping me down to the bottom. Hold on. Let's find some questions. Oh, we got to take off Herb's question. There we go. Herb, I hope that answered your question. Thomas is loving the We the People audio 22-inch, and he wants me to do a video on foot plants. Okay, I'm going to put that in my bike school list, because we're looking for like little things to add, things like that, like drills that you guys could do all around. And I'm going to put that in there because I think that's a really good suggestion. And a lot of our members will have fun with that. So foot plant video. Thomas, should we put that on the YouTube, or should we do it just for like add it as a lecture in bike school? Oh my gosh, do a video on hip transitions too. Okay. I'm taking notes, man. I'm taking notes. Hip transitions. You mean like airing hips? Like, I think I put hip. I imagine that's what you mean, airing a hip. Kevlar says water's better. So, Kev, I got my water in my apple juice container because I left so I always carry around a gallon, right? Like, I drink, I don't know, a gallon, anywhere between a gallon and 2 gallons. Like, I almost always hit a gallon a day. And sometimes if I'm feeling crazy, I can hit 2 gallons, but I don't like actively push for it. But anyway, I left my gallon of water in my car. And last night, before I go to bed, I always chug water. Like, that's one thing I talk about in like my 6-week foundation thing is I feel like, this is me, right? I'm not a sports scientist, so I don't know, but I feel like if you chug water before bed, it fills you up with water, right? And I think the water is super important for like muscle recovery and things like that. So in my head, if I drink a bunch of water before I go to bed, I wake up less sore. Now, is that true? I don't know. Maybe it's like the placebo effect, but in my head, that's what happens. And so I chug water before bed. And then I left my gallon of water in the car. I was too tired. I did not feel like going out to get my car, but I found this empty apple juice container in my room, and I said, okay, this is my new 64 fluid ounces of water. So it's half a gallon, but if I don't have one of these every day, I get the worst headache. I have a mad caffeine addiction and it's not good. Sometimes I'll drink one and then like go to Denny's and work for a few hours and drink a few cups of coffee and then come home and drink another one. But those are on the days that I don't sleep. And that's why I look like this. It's the caffeine, man. And we don't know. Like Bang's relatively new. Like I've been drinking it for a few years, but what if it causes whatever? You know, there's all kinds of weird stuff in here. Caution, do not use this product if you're pregnant, nursing. Do not consume this product if you are taking any prescription drugs and or have any medical condition. Oh no. So anyway, we don't know. I'm not pregnant, so that's good, but I'm still consuming it. I mean, if I was pregnant, I would consume it anyway because I can't live without it. So did I miss something that Lewis said? Lewis. Okay, let's see what Lewis says. Oh no. So I tried to do a 180 yesterday. My tire slipped because it was raining. Okay. Mistake number one. Don't 180 in the rain. I hope you're not too bad. The bar got in my mouth. Oh my God. And the bar pushed my tongue against my teeth and a portion of it got sliced. Yee. And then he says, and now I can't ride. Wow. That's rough, dude. Teeth stuff is like, dental work, any of that kind of like that is the most painful stuff because you use your mouth all the time. You use it when you talk, you use it when you eat, you use it when you drink. And so like I couldn't imagine that. Like if you accidentally ate a lemon right now because like while your tongue sliced, you would not be having a good day. Hopefully you get better soon, Luis. Lucas made enough off of that video with 1 million views to buy the Sunday street sweeper. That's rad, dude. I'm so hyped for you. It's crazy to me. Is like just one video, you know, can take off like that. And for you, it was like took off, you know, got monetized. You got 5K subs, and that's so cool. That is dope. I think you found your calling, Lucas. You make those bike build videos. Like it was really clean, you know, the way you did it looked good, sound good. Like if you think about it, it probably will pay back what you spent on the BSD build. You know, over time, whatever you spent on the BSD build will come back in as ad revenue. And then you could just keep continuously doing that and make good money and have lots of bikes. So Thomas says, I've seen some Korean BMXers doing ads with Goose Island beer instead of Bang energy drink. Seems like the better way to go. What is Goose Island beer? Is it actually beer? I don't know, man. If I like, I crawl out of bed and drink a Bang. And I don't know if my day would be the same if I crawled out of bed and drank a beer. I just don't think that I just don't think I'd be as productive throughout the day. Granted, I don't drink though, so I think everyone has their addictions, right? Or their vices in life. And for me, it's definitely caffeine. Like that is my thing. Alcohol, I'm good. Cigarettes, I'm good, you know, all that. But caffeine, I just can't live without it. I quit a few years ago at Woodward because I was drinking a Monster a day and I was like, I need to stop. And I quit for a couple of weeks. And then I was just like, I don't know. It's not necessarily that once I got over the caffeine headache, it's not necessarily the caffeine, but it's just like, to me, it's like a reward for waking up in the morning. I don't know. That's a weird way to look at it. But it's like, oh, good job. You woke up. Like, here's your reward. And I'm so weird. Okay, what else we got here? Korean BMXers. Hot Potato 0909 says, what is, hey, I saw JDA way down in the bottom of the chat. Like there's a lot of chat up here that I'm at 484 that I haven't touched. So I'll get to you guys' questions eventually. Maybe I'll skip down to the bottom. I don't know, but for now I just go by question. So if you don't get your question answered, like it will get answered eventually. But if you leave the stream, you'll never hear the answer. So don't like ask your question and then leave. Like if you're gonna ask your question, stick around and hear me answer it, because I'll get to it eventually. But Hot Potato says, "What is your favorite brand?" Funny story. Depends what we're talking about. If we're talking about complete bikes, I'm gonna say Kink has the best value. Like they're the best priced for the quality that they offer. The more I like dive down into minuscule aspects of the quality of the bikes, like I really like We the People. Even their really expensive lower end bikes have, say, more aftermarket parts and things like that, and just different things that other lower quality bikes don't include. But right off the bat, it'd be Kink just because of their value. And then some guy commented and said, I think this guy's paid by Kink. Man, I wish Kink was paying me. They should be paying me for how many Kink whips I tell people to buy, but they don't. And I just think that they're the best value. Now, next year that could totally change. Like, let's say Colt starts really lowering their prices and producing better quality or whatever. Like that can change each year, but the last couple of years, it's definitely been Kink. And if we talk about aftermarket parts, I again, I'm really impressed with the quality parts that I've been riding the last few years because they've just withheld up to so much more than any other brand that I've ridden before. But I do really like Odyssey and Sunday for aftermarket parts. I don't really think Sunday's a good price on their complete bikes, but aftermarket parts, they do really good. Um, yeah. Okay. We gotta find another question here. We gotta find a question. Good question, Hot Potato. Good question. Luis bought pipe for his Xbox. Thomas says Stephen Hamilton practices bike maneuvers laying on his back a lot. For me, that is one thing that I did to figure out turn downs, because the actual motion of clicking them is really weird. Like you have to extend your knees and pull the bike up into you before you can get it around your leg. And so learning something like that on your back to figure out the motion was crucial for me. I also did it a lot with whips because I think when we try whips hop or we try them fly out, we throw our arms way up here, and that's wrong. Like you got to keep the bike under you. And so keeping it on your back, you're keeping that bike right here instead of throwing it up, because if you throw it up while you're on your back, the bike's going to hit you in the head. So you're not going to do that. And so your back maneuvers do work for a lot of different things. And there's still going to be a transition of taking that and putting it into actually doing the trick. But for learning it, it does help a lot. Joe Rod says, "Do you like Colt?" I think Colt is a. I have nothing against Colt for sure, but I really haven't ridden many of their parts. Like in terms of aftermarket parts, I think what I see with Colt is that Robbie Morales, the guy that owns Colt, he was with Fit for a long time. Okay, and what he said, this is what Robbie says. Okay, this is what I heard that Robbie says. Robbie didn't tell me this, but this is what I heard that Robbie said is, oh, let me put that question back up there, is that Fit became too much about the money and not enough about the sport. So he took a handful of these Fit riders and started Colt. And they've gained literally a cult like following. Oh, hold on one sec. I forgot to do something. Give me one sec, guys. Okay, I'm back. I was supposed to set something out outside for somebody to pick up, and I totally forgot. But don't worry, we're back. Wow, not many people left. Um, I like ran to the door, so I'm out of breath. I'm old and fat, guys. Anyway, Colt. Okay, so Robbie took like Dakota Roach, and those other guys and created Colt. And because them having like that mindset of making it more about BMX and less about the money, I think they gained a really good following of like BMX riders who felt that, like people who really care about the sport. Um, more than care about getting into it for sponsors and getting into it for money. And they've really succeeded because of that. So I definitely love what Colt's about, what Colt's behind, and like, their whole mission to it. But their aftermarket bikes are okay. I think they kept it really simple for a reason, but I haven't really ridden many of their parts. There's a lot of mixed feelings about it, but it's like Apple, right? People don't necessarily love Apple because it's so convenient, because every year they change something, or they like when I bought my first MacBook Pro, I had to buy 6 million adapters because they decided you didn't need USBs anymore. And it's like, you need USBs, but so then they they're not that great, right? They're not that great, but we love Apple because of the simplicity and the design and just different aspects of it. So I think it's the same thing with Colt. I think Colt's super popular, not necessarily because it's the best, but more so because of what they stand for. And I'm all about that, because you just need to find things that you align with. But anyway, yeah. So that's my thought on Colt. Joe, good question. I didn't really answer your question. I mean, I kind of answered it. Do I like Colt? Yes, I like Colt. I guess I could have just said that. But anyway, yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, Joe said it again. Oh, here's a good question. Dylan, what's up, Dylan? Dylan, oh, Dion. Oops, my bad. I thought it was Dylan. Dion says, do you wear knee and ankle protection when you ride street? So these are my ankle pads. They're Fuse. They're half decent. They're half decent. These are my knee pads. These are also Fuse. And these are my shin pads with a inside whip protector. Um, and so yeah, I wear these whether I'm riding street, park, dirt, like whatever. They're here in my room, so it's like when I'm gonna go ride, I get up, I put on my pads, I put on my pants, I get my bike off the wall, and then I go ride. So it's like it's never I get to the spot and then I sit down and I say, do I feel like putting my pads on today? It's like I'm going to go ride my bike. So I put my pads on. And then whether I end up riding street, park, whatever I end up riding, they're already on. And they usually stay on throughout the whole day, like until I'm done. And yeah, so I always wear them no matter what. Not because I fall on my knees or hit my ankles, but it's just like, one, I think it's just a habit for me to put those pads on and to ride with them all the time. But then it's also I've had so many different times where I'm like, oh, I'm riding street, so I don't need my helmet, or I don't need my knee pads, and then my chain will break and I'll smack my knee on my stem, and I'm like, oh, I should have worn my knee pads, right? Like hindsight's always 2020, so it just for me, I made a habit of always wearing them, and then life is good. Life is good. So that's what I do. All right, Thomas. Thomas likes the lecture idea, so I'll talk to Nick, or I mean, I'll just make one. It'll take a little bit, but we'll throw that in there for the bike school guys. That's a good idea. I love it. Lucas says, "Don't you need to get up and pee at 3 a.m.?" No, I see, and that's the thing. Like, I'll chug a good amount of water, and I'll be just fine. Like, I mean, I'll wake up in the morning and pee, but not 25 times throughout the night, and I never pee the bed. So it's like I just always wake up less sore. So it's a really good thing. You should try it and see how it goes. You should try it and see how it goes. Okay, yeah, Thomas, I get what you're saying about the air. I'll think about how we can make something that explains it, because it is a little different going from like quarter to quarter over a hip, because you're not like, it's not the same as an air. The way that I think about it is that, like, if you post a question in the members group, when Nick and I do a review, we'll touch on it. Like both of us will talk about it like this. But the way I think about it is, it's like you're really pointing your front tire wherever you're trying to go. And so when I take off on a hip, I'm popping out so that my front tire's heading at where I want to land. And then if you watch the jumping video that Nick put out on there, in the course, it like you compress and then you expand your body, right, to get the air. And I was doing this at Chandler when we were filming videos over the hips, and like I'd go up, I'd compress on my way up the hip, I'd expand as soon as I came off, and then from there you can kind of move your tire to where you want it to go, and you just like, it's really chill. And so anyway, I always think about where I'm going to put that front of the tire, and I think that could help you out a little bit, but there's a lot more that goes into it. So I'll elaborate. Oh my gosh, I got to find the questions. Hey, there's Jared. What's up, Jared? Louis says he bought a Odyssey clutch free coaster and it's the real deal. Like, he had profile, but it was too loud and the Karens kept complaining about it. Damn, I ride a profile that's very loud. That's so funny. Um, hey, there's Jared. What's up, Jared? If you crawl out of bed and drink beer, that's called being a skateboarder. Yep, I love it. Red Peanut says, "What do you think about mountain bike?" Um, I think downhill is super cool. I would love to get like a dirt jumper, or yeah, dirt jumpers, like a hardtail. I really want a hardtail because like I've ridden them a few times and it's really fun. It's a little bit different than BMX, but it's really fun. I mean, the only way that it's different is that just the, what do you call it, like the geometry or the point of like balance and stuff. So like, for example, when Nick and I were doing the manual video for the YouTube, the bike school YouTube, like I was trying to manual on his dirt jumper, and it's been just really it's really hard to control for me. Now, it took a while to get used to, and once I did get used to it, felt pretty much the same. And same with jumping it, like it feels way different because obviously it's got bigger wheels and stuff like that. But a lot of the tricks are actually the same. It's just the way you get used to it and the way that it feels. And so then anyway, so I want to get a dirt jumper. They're very expensive, so I'm not going to get one anytime soon. But eventually, I do want to have one so that I can ride both, and especially ride the dirt jumper on dirt jumps. I feel like that's a lot more comfortable than riding the BMX on dirt jumps. But yeah, so nothing against mountain bikes. I think it's solid, and I think part of our goal with bike school is building a like ending the stigma essentially of BMX and mountain bike are really different, because when we were building the course, we figured out, hey, this is about the same. Like how Nick does a no-footed can, how I do a no-footed can, it's about the same. How Nick does a tail whip and how I do a tail whip, it's about the same. And so we have a good amount of members in there who ride BMX, but we also have a good amount of members who ride dirt jumpers. And a lot of the feedback is pretty similar. Now, bunny hops on a dirt jumper are a lot harder and a little bit different, just because the amount of force you have to put in. Like there's small differences, but I think they're awesome. You know, two wheels for life. Two wheels for life. Jared sent me $10. Thank you, Jared. You're the best. I appreciate it. He says, "Have you changed your grip since I met you in Chandler?" I don't think so. I don't think I've changed them. They're still good. Like, you know, if you can hold on to them, they're fine. Chuck, what's up, Chuck? Okay, Jared, thank you again, man. Appreciate it. Chuck says I landed sketch hop bars this week. Chuck, where's the video in bike school? Put that in there. I've got to see it. I've got to see it. Oh, guys, a bike school video. I had here. I'm gonna share this. This is a video of me. But Chuck, where's that video at? I've got to see it. That is so sick. We were talking about it, and we're like, is Chuck gonna get the bars like when he finally lets go and sends them? I've got to check, make sure you didn't put it in here. Chuck, that's awesome. Good job, man. Okay, anyway, sorry. Let me answer I'm just too hyped for you. I can't even answer the question. Okay, yeah, Jason was the last question. And I saw Chad in here. What's up, Chad? So Chuck says, I landed sketch hop bars this week. I compared them to your slow motion video and noticed you can pop super high without tucking your knees. Wondering what is your height and bike geometry? Um, see, so like I can hop bar up a 2 set, sometimes a 3 set if I really pop it. And it's so difficult because you're right. I have to be higher than that thing that I'm hopping onto and locking my knees. And so it's like it all comes from that initial explosive power. And that's why like I really stress it in the videos is like you're compressing, and that power that you throw your chest up with is what dictates the height. Now, sucking your knees up really maximizes it, but that initial explosive power dictates everything. But I might have a little bit advantage because I'm 6'4", so I'm very tall, and I'm riding a 20.2. No, I'm just kidding. I'm riding a 21-inch top tube, so it's about the big. Like I could get a 21.25, but I ride a 21. So I'm 6'4". I ride a 21, and that definitely allows me to get a good amount of pop. If I was but it could be counterproductive. Like I can guarantee you, if I was riding a 20.5 or something that small, when I would go to pop that bunny hop, I'd loop out before I was even ready to like maximize my height. I was riding a total Killaby frame that was a 20.75 and a 12.7 chainstay. So very short, very responsive. And my bunny hops weren't near as good. So having a little bit of a bigger frame made it feel a lot more stable. But if it was too big, I'd have a really hard time getting that pop. So finding the perfect balance is definitely important. And one thing, Chuck, I actually ride, my bars are only 9-inch or 8.9. Like my bars are actually relatively small. And I think that gives me a little extra leverage on it. So, hey guys, thanks for not leaving when I when I ran away from the screen. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, Chuck, so that's what, but dude, for real, congrats on the bar. I'd love to see that video. That's super sick. What's up, Daniel? Daniel says, buy a Sunday dark wave or sound wave. You're good for life. End of story. Daniel has a very good point. Those bikes are like the way I like to analyze it. If you, Mr. Beast said, we're here today at the Sunday warehouse and you have 3 minutes to buy anything you can. And so then you ran in and you grabbed all the best parts you could, like you'd end up with the Sunday dark wave or the Sunday sound wave. So very simple, very good bikes. Jared says Colt has the best branding in BMX, and I'd agree with that. It literally have a cult-like following. It's so fascinating to me, and there's a lot of stuff like stories about Robbie kind of being backstabbing, if that's the right word, or just a little like conspicuous in the way that he does things. But he's a businessman. You know, he's a businessman, and he's done very well. Like Colt is doing very well. Chad says, hello. Hello, Chad. Jared hates Apple. That's funny. I love Apple. Like we got the AirPods, we got the iPhone, we got the Mac. I think that's all. I haven't bought like I think Alexa is better than the Apple Homes. I don't think the Apple Homes are very good, but Apple is very annoying. Very annoying. You're right. You're right. Yeah, Dion, if you throw your pads on before you leave, you won't even have to be worrying about it. You'll just be like, you'll be padded up, you'll be ready to go. FM for five. What's up, FM for five? He was hanging out with us in the bike school live last time. He says, thanks, Daniel, but I don't know if the frame is the exact measure as a 20-inch. I don't know what you're talking about. Did I miss something? Oh, what's up? I got a 24-inch Sunday Model C. Is it possible to throw some 20-inch rims and tires? Thanks. Hmm. I don't see why not, but I don't know why. Like, I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend it. I think now, again, 24s and 26 and 29s, those are way out of my area of knowledge. Like, I don't touch them in reviews because I know nothing about them. But I think the frame is at most maybe a 22. So the frame's not necessarily 24, but it's about the 24-inch rims and tires, and that's why it's called the 24. I think. Pretty sure. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows more about this. So, like, putting a 20-inch wheels on there would be fine, and then you'd be riding a 22. But the way that the geometry is built, so think about it, like a 24-inch wheel is going to be 2 inches higher off the ground than a BMX, right? Because it's 2 inches on each, or is it going to be 4 inches? Maybe it's going to be 4 inches higher off the ground. Okay, so 4 inches higher off the ground, and the geometry of the frame is built to kind of reflect that. So, like, it'll probably have a lower bottom bracket height or something like that to make to kind of balance the stability there. And so then when you put 20-inch wheels on it, you're dropping it 4 inches, but the frame's designed for 24. I don't That could be very interesting. Like, let me know what happens because I'm curious. Like, I'm invested now. I've got to know. But yeah, Dirt Racer. Let's see what Racer says. Possibly yes. Good idea. Probably not. That was a roller coaster of emotions. 24 have longer forks and chainstays to accommodate the larger wheels. It's going to look wonky. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Chad Cave. This is a different Chad. What's up, Chad? Thanks for hanging out with me while you're at work. Happy Friday. Yeah, speaking of that, guys, go out this weekend, and if you're not buried in snow, go learn some new tricks. Get out, have some fun, ride your bike. Thanks for tuning in, Chad. Appreciate it, man. Okay, Roman says that his friend put 20s on his 26-inch, but it's not too smart. Because your chain and your geometry dough. Okay, yeah. So about what I was saying. Did I get skipped to the bottom on accident? Oh my god, I skipped all the way to the bottom. So anyway, those were things that were happening in real time, or maybe I'm caught up on questions. Actually, I don't know. I don't think I missed too much. No, I think I'm about caught up. We're about at 50 minutes. So hold on. We're gonna slowly check. Dion says, thanks for pronouncing my name correctly. You're welcome. I work with a Dion. And so otherwise I'd probably look at your name and be like really confused. But yeah, I got you, man. Thomas says, I love that is how you wear pads. Really cool. I need lower profile, better pads. They're expensive. Like, I probably spent over 100 on all of my pads, probably like 150 with the ankle pads. But it's nice to like put them on and then put your pants over them and then just ride and not have to worry about because before I'd ride like with my pads on the outside of my pants and it was pretty uncomfortable. And so putting them on the inside of the pants helps a lot. Daniel says, what bike do you ride, Dougster? I'm 6'4" and I have the dark wave. I ride a Colony Sweet Tooth. So it's a 21-inch, like I said earlier. Now my next bike, Daniel, I've really, really been looking at getting a dark wave frame and building it out around that because it's 21.25, and I think I would really enjoy riding a 21.25. But I'm not 100% sure, but I am going to get a new frame that's a little bit bigger than the 21 and just see how I like it. Jared says 2-hour stream today. No way. No way. got website posts I gotta do. But I really want to do more of these. Like in January, I'm gonna work less at my real job. And so that'll give me a lot more time to work on the other things I have going on. So maybe adding another stream in during the week would be good. But maybe I could power through a 2 hour stream. YouTube seems to like promote the streams around after an hour. So it's like I stream for an hour and then YouTube starts saying, hey, check out this stream. And then more people start jumping in. But okay. I was right the first time. A 22-inch is hot, only 1 inch. Yeah, because 4 inches will add 2 inches top and bottom. Yeah, top and bottom. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I was right the first time. That's cool. All right. So only 2 inches, but still 2 inches, that's a lot. Now it's not as bad as four. 4 inches would be really crazy, but let me look, Mason. I reviewed too many bikes and I have a headache now. So let's see. Mason says, if a person's price range is $500 to $600, would you recommend the We the People arcade? And I don't think so. I mean, yeah, it's way better than the Sunday Scout. Okay, it's way better than the Sunday Scout, which is about the same price. It's the same as the Fit Street. Oof. Oh, a lot of these are not so good. If you have 600 and you could spend it, look at the Division 4Ts is a really good bike. Now, it's not a core BMX brand, but I'm going to send it because so I was doing a $500 to $600 comparison video, and it's going to be out soon. So maybe if you can hold tight on that. But this one did really well in the $500 to $600 price range, like really, really, really well. And it's, like you call a car a sleeper, right? If it doesn't really look super special, but then it's very good, like very fast car, it's like, oh, that's a sleeper. The Division is a sleeper because it's under 600 and it's impressive quality. But again, this goes back to the argument about Elite and brands like that, is that Division, in my opinion, is not necessarily a core brand. So when you buy from them, you're not really supporting BMX like you would if you were buying from Colt or Fit or Sunday. So that's something to keep in mind. But I was really impressed with this bike. Now, the Colt Devotion, I don't know your size, but that's going to be better than the We the People arcade. The Kink Switch is right at 600. That's going to be a lot better than the We the People arcade. The We the People Justice is almost 600, and that's going to be a lot better. I really like the Justice, and I really like the We the People Reason, but that's going to be a little bit over budget for you. And then at the lower end of the price range, the Kink Whip is at that $500 price point. Again, my opinion, better than the We the People arcade. The We the People arcade looks very cool. It looks really cool. Don't get me wrong. But in terms of like quality and like value, it's like these bikes are better than it. The Kink Whip, the Colt Control even. Yeah, just to name like what I just named like 6 there or something. But yeah, Mason, get a bike, get into the sport. That's going to be exciting. Like, look, here's the thing, man. If you love the arcade because of how it looks, go for it. And just start riding. The sooner you start riding, the sooner you can start progressing, the sooner you can start having fun with the sport. And if you love how it looks and like that's going to get you hyped on riding every day, get it, because that's one of the most important things. Now, just keep in mind that it is a little more expensive and you're not getting the best quality. So you might have to upgrade parts 6 months from now, 8 months from now. And so, yeah, so just keep that in mind. And like, some people love to upgrade their parts anyway. And like, that isn't a bad thing. when I had my bike, it was a cheap DK reaction, and I'd break the bars. So then I'd buy some cheap nitrous bars. I was Eastern's lower brand. Like Eastern is lower quality, but then they had nitrous, which was even lower quality. Like I'd upgrade my bike with these junky parts just because I needed something to ride. And now, if I would have known ahead of time that these bars were going to bend, I would have bought something a little bit different. But I didn't. And so upgrading your parts is something that's to be expected. And some people love it because then they can customize it the way that they want. So Void says Colt comes with peg. Only the Devotion comes with pegs. The Colt Control doesn't. But Thomas has to go and do some chores. Thomas, thanks for hanging out with me, man. We're going to do a bike school live Monday morning. So if you want to be on there with us, come hang out. But dude, have a good day. Good luck with the fakies and the chores. We're going to dumb it down like Barney, or for Barney. I can't remember what you said last time, but have a good day, man. Yeah, the justice is pretty solid, Mason. The justice is pretty solid. Steven says, I just bought a used Haro SD AM 2020. The bike feels great and it doesn't feel big at all, even though I'm 5'8". The only criticism is it comes with a 10 millimeter male front axle. Oh, that's interesting. Is the SD's Dennis's bike, right? Um, yeah, I was impressed with that bike because like the Haro Lucidia and the Premium Stray, which is now Haro, they're not very good for the price. They are not very good at all. But the Dennis Anderson one is pretty solid for the price. But it's so big. Like it's so big. I can't believe you're only 5'8" and you're getting by just fine on it. That's crazy. But dude, ride it like you stole it. Ride it, ride it, ride it. Do all those tricks. That's sick. Daniel was so close to buying the Eastern full titanium. I want to look it up because I remember they had the Grim Reaper full titanium, and I think that's what you're talking about. And then I don't think it's a thing anymore. 2.3 pounds. Look at that. $1,900. Jesus Christ. You can, says titanium Grim Reaper frame. $1,900 or 4 interest-free payments of $475. That's crazy. 2.3 pounds. Wow. There used to be a premium had a gutter shark frame back in the day. It was premium gutter shark. Is very popular. People like love the gutter shark because it had so many different cutouts and it was one of the lightest chromoly frames you could get at the time. And then everyone got it and they started calling it the premium gutter snap instead of the gutter shark because it would snap. Um, I don't know if I'd trust like super light titanium frames. I've had 2 frames snap in half on me. One broke my teeth and my chin, and one just snapped when I landed and like nothing happened too bad, but it's not fun. And these are chromoly frames. So it's like, ooh, after seeing Mike Varga get really messed up snapping his Laird frame, I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, Mason, we're going to see you later. Oh, hey, way back, I don't think I'll be able to find it now. Somebody said thank you for the channel, and then I missed his thing, but I really wanted, bro, if you're still here, I've got to find it. Here, TGAT, dude, I scrolled past this and I was going to stop, and then I had to run to the door. He said, just wanted to say thanks for all your reviews. I'm 35. I stopped riding when I was 16, started working, but thanks to your reviews, I just ordered a kink whip on Cyber Monday. Dude, I love to hear stories like this, and I think a lot of the guys in the chat do as well. Over these last couple of years, people have found their way back to BMX who rode when they were younger, and now we're just getting back into it. And it's like these people like you being 35, getting back into the sport, you have a whole different outlook on the sport that that a lot of the younger guys, or even me, like the younger guys who are just getting into it, and me who's only been in it for 10 years, like it's a whole different thing. And so you have a different outlook and a different way of thinking about tricks and things like that. So it's like, it's crucial for you older guys to get back in the sport and share your progress. Like, you might progress a little slower than the younger guys, but you can do different things and you have a whole different mindset. So it's like, it's really rad that you guys are getting back into the sport. And dude, thank you for letting me or trusting me, to help you find the right bike. You're going to enjoy that bike for sure, man. Okay, cool. I'm glad I found that. I just wanted to run up and answer, like bring attention to it, I guess. Ryan, Ryan, that is a cool name. I hope I'm saying it right, but that is a cool name, man. That is a really cool name, I gotta say. Okay, is it common to struggle with the turnout portion of Fakies on cassette? I just started and I feel like everything else is progressing well except for Fakies. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's your first taste of what like BMX tricks actually are. We tend to think of tricks as like just one trick, like you jump in the air on a video game, you press X, you do a bar spin. And it's so different because there's so many different aspects of timing to actually doing a trick that you don't get. That it's really hard to wrap your head around when you're first starting out. And so like fakie, for example, you're going backwards, right? Which is already unnatural. Rolling backwards is you're not used to. Okay. And now you've got to roll backwards and pedal backwards. So that adds another level of complexity. So like your balance has to be such that you can pedal backwards and stay balanced while you're rolling backwards. Now you've got to turn the wheel. And again, we're used to rolling forward. If we turn the wheel to the left, we're going to turn left. But in a fakie, if you're rolling backwards, you turn the wheel to the left, you're going to go right. And so then there's another level there. And while you're doing this, you've still got to pedal backwards. And then you've got to wait just perfectly until you're turned around to about 90 degrees. And you have to time that with your back pedal so that your foot is in the down position when you get there, so that you can apply pedal pressure, lift the front wheel up, turn your head, and then turn the bars the other way. Like a fakie is such a basic trick. And broken down like that, you can see how much complexity goes into it. It's like, now think about a 720 bar spin to tail whip. Like, there's so many different aspects to learning a trick. And so that's very common, Ryan. But what's cool is once you get that figured out and you're constantly building like body awareness, I guess, is because now let's say I do a 180 fakie and a half cab. I know exactly when to turn my wheel based on where my foot is so that I can pop out of that half cab in one more back pedal. And then it becomes second nature. So you've just got to slowly figure that stuff out and work into it. It's going to be tough, but don't get frustrated. Like, one of the things that helped me a lot was really focusing on where it's going wrong. So after you do it, something goes wrong, you're mad, just sit there and kind of visualize it and say, okay, was I even rolling backwards right? And if, like, just break it down that way. We talk about it a lot in bike school. It's how to like analyze your attempts and then learn off of that. But it's normal. Don't stress too much. Just keep working on it. There's a lot of guys right now stressing out on fakies. So oh yeah, somebody asked about a 35-inch bunny hop. Oh, and K Stash, this is good. Okay, cool. Like, if we have lots of questions, guys, I'll stay for the questions for sure. Crappy Honda says, how long does it usually take to build up to a 35-inch bunny hop? It's different for everybody, man. What would that be? Almost 3 feet? 36, yeah, about 3 feet. Yeah, I think some people are like naturally gifted at it, and some people really have to work for it. Geometry plays a huge role in it. Your coordination, your height, your strength. I genuinely see a linear progression, right? Like for me, for example, when I started going to the gym, I started progressing a lot because I just had a lot more strength and like explosive muscle power that allowed me to maneuver my bike in ways that I couldn't before. I have a couple of friends in El Paso, they're hitting the gyms like psychos right now, and Kevin's doing like 720 bars. And it's like, where's that even come from? It's like a linear progression with that strength. And so, in terms of the bunny hop, it stronger people are going to naturally have an easier time with the bunny hop. And then, that plays a role with how well can you wrap your mind around the concepts and just a bunch of things like that. So are you practicing every day? Are you only practicing once a week? Are you doing bunny hops constantly for an hour? Are you only doing them sometimes? It's tough. My tips for you though would be to set something in front of yourself that's always higher than you think you can bunny hop, because you're going to be surprised at how high you can actually bunny hop when you have to. So if I put like let's say, I'm trying to think of something small. I don't know, like let's say I put a box that's only 1.5 feet in front of me, then I'm going to jump about 1.5 feet. Like I'm just going to jump enough to hop over that. But if you put a 5 set in front of me, I'm going to barely get up on it. Like, I don't know, probably, I don't know if I could get up a 5 set. I don't know. I have pretty high hops. I'm sure you guys have seen. But it's only about what's in front of me. So if I'm hopping up something that's pretty small, then that's my ceiling essentially. But if I put something bigger in front of me, I really force myself to get up and over it. So if you're pretty constant with getting 1.5 foot bunny hops, put something that's 2 foot in front of you, and you might not get it the first time, but keep working at it until you force yourself to get over it. Man, these are some really good questions in here, guys. K-Stash says, what is one safety mistake you see a lot of young or new BMX riders make? I mean, the easy common one that I want to say is helmets. Um, and I'm trying to think a little bit outside the box for that. Yeah, I think it just have to be not wearing helmets. Now, new young riders, everyone usually starts out with a helmet, and then you realize, oh, I haven't hit my head. I've been riding for 6 months. I haven't hit my head, so it's not going to happen. And then you kind of relax yourself on that and quit wearing it as often, and then it just eventually fades out to where you don't. So I think a lot of new young riders start out with it, but then over time they're like, oh, it's not bad, and then you start progressing, then you hit your head. Like I did. I have a specific story where we went to ride street, my friends and I. This was when I was in high school, and I didn't need my helmet because I like never hit my head. And so then we're going along, and like I hop up on the middle of a stair set, and I'm rolling along it, and then I go to do a hop whip, and my tire hits the stairs. I fall over, I hit my head, and I'm like, my grandma's gonna kill me, because like I was supposed to be wearing my helmet, but I wasn't. And I think that happens for a lot of people, is that we get too confident because we haven't gotten hurt, and so then we're not prepared for the time when we do get hurt. All right. Void is buying some custom bikes, stuff like that. Oh, where are we at? Okay, Kevlar says, do you think more companies will start making custom made to order frames? I think there's definitely a demand for it because of how busy Mike Laird is doing that. There's some other companies that are starting to, but they're not as well known. But I don't think the demand is huge, and I think the amount of effort that you have to spend on it wouldn't be worth doing it unless they were charging a lot more. I think Mike's able to do it somewhat profitably because he's just like, a one-man operation on it. But if you think about Fit, where they have a whole team involved, they've got like, you can't, I don't know what the margins are, but I imagine labor just for someone to weld it, like welders get paid good money. And if it takes you 10 hours to do a frame, you're paying your welder $25 an hour. That's already $250 just in labor, and not necessarily on any of the materials. And so then you're closer to 400 cost landed. And if you want to make a 50% margin, you've got to sell it for way more than people are willing to spend. So I don't know. I don't think it's there yet for companies to actually start making the move, but I think it'll become a decent side hustle. BMX is getting bigger now to the point where a lot of older guys, more skilled people are getting back. Like it's not a bunch of 13-year-olds um, riding bikes right now. Like there's a lot of guys 30, 40, 50 who have fabrication background, right? And they're fully capable of selling made to order frames and they're skilled. Like, so I think it could become more of like a side hustle. That's a really interesting idea from people who are in the sport and want to find a way to make money around it and use their skills to do so. But as far as companies doing it, I don't necessarily think that it will happen. Yeah. Okay, Daniel says he's 38. He got back into it because of COVID with his 7-year-old son, and he's got 3-foot bunny hops. Good job, dude. That's rad. I Here's my dream is to get out and like travel and be able to ride with all you guys. Like it'd be so fun just to do like a road trip and stop at different spots along the way and ride with all of like the people who watch my videos. It'd be so much fun. Daniel, glad you're into BMX, man. How's it been? It's a lot different than it was when you were riding, huh? Oh, hold on. Who's this? No, we already talked about Void. Jared says, so I was watching this video about how people don't actually understand how a bike works, even though they can ride. Most of your balance comes from steering, not gyroscopic effects. Yeah, I probably don't fully understand how it works either. I just, you get on the bike and you stay balanced. That's a weird thing. Do you think it's because we learn so young that we don't necessarily learn why it works? Or do you think it's just like, that's how it is? Like our body naturally reflects the balance by turning because that is how you stay up. Like if you start to fall one way, leaning does a little bit, but it's mostly how you steer that keeps you up. So that's interesting. FM for 5 tips on manual 180. I love this trick, but sometimes I have a tough time. Like it's broken a lot of wheels for me. But the biggest tip for you is one, if you have pedal pressure, use your pedal pressure and also start carving the 180, like maybe a parking space before you actually want to do it. So if you're manualing, say, like, let's just say, I like to do them off curbs because that gives you a little bit more time. But let's say you're manualing just 10 parking spaces and you're going along. So at parking space number 9, you really want to drop your hips and swing your hips into the direction that you want to ultimately spin. And so doing that's going to start to hook your manual into the direction. So you should know how to steer a manual at this point. And so what you basically want to do is you want to start steering the manual the way that you want to spin. And you want to be a little, if you can almost be at 90 degrees when you get to the end or to where you want to pop that 180, it's going to make life so easy because then all you've got to do is uncompress from that manual position and snap your head, and it's just going to snap the bike around. And then a manual 3 is pretty much the same thing, but you just really exaggerate the hook a little bit more in the snap. Manual 3s are fun. But yeah, the manual 180, the more carve you get before you pop the 180, the easier it's going to be to actually get the 180. Daniel says major hops. Are you talking about me, Daniel, or the manual 180? What do we got here? Hey, what's up, John? John says, so I'm going to Ray's mountain bike park for a weekend. And what do you think is the best use of time as far as progression? They have resi and foam pits. Yeah, I have a friend who rides at Ray's a lot. Ray's is rad. I want to go so bad. Where, wh- that's hard. Like, where are you at, John? Like, not where are you at, but where are you at with tricks? Like, what tricks are you working on? Can you jump a box jump yet? Are you trying to learn, say, bar spins? Are you like, what are your goals, I guess? So think about it this way: a year from now, next year, so December 3rd, 2022. Oh my God. Um, what do you want to be doing on your bike? That's a good way to, and then let me know. Cause then, there's so many different things. I think a really undervalued thing at something like that is box jumps. So like where I'm at, we don't have any box jumps. We don't. Like everything we do here is got to be fly out. And it sucks because, say, riding contests, you really need to know how to ride box jumps. And some people are blessed with box jumps and some people are not. uh, some people are not blessed with box jumps. So that's something I'd tell people. If you guys can get access to a box jump, then like take advantage of that. But if you're trying to learn some tricks, like definitely I'd say hit the foam pit. But yeah, I'll see if you reply on what you've got. And then we can kind of go from there. Daniel says, what size tire do you ride? I have 2.4s and they feel so heavy. Right now I've got Demolition Momentum 2.35s. So they inflate out pretty good. Like your rim width really matters too. So like my rims aren't super wide, but if I had really wide rims, my 2.35s would be a lot wider than that. But Momentums are some of the lightest tires you can get. I don't know what tires you got. But one thing, Daniel, what I like to ride like a 2.35 in the front and a 2.2 in the back. I like that skinnier tire in the back. It makes my manual carving a lot more responsive. Oh, Saturn, you're exposing my weaknesses. He says tips on 540s on a quarter. 540s are hard enough. 540s on a quarter scare the hell out of me. I've done a few, but they're never like, it's never something that I'm like, oh, I'm just going to 540 this quarter. It's like, I think about it way more than I should. And then I'm like, yeah, so I don't know. I don't think I should be able to give you any tips on it. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. But for me, it's easy to stay below coping and just snap like crazy. You see like Nikita doing 540 airs on her quarters, and it looks like she travels a lot more. And maybe that's something I need to try, but yeah, I don't know. It's way different than a fly out five for sure. I don't know. I don't know them good enough. Like I said, I've only done a handful and I hate them. So I can't even give you advice on it. If anyone can 540 a quarter, like you're talking about 540 air, right? Or are you talking 540 fly out? If you're talking 540 air, those scare me way too much. 540 fly out, I could tell you though. Okay, John says, tell Nick to say what's up. I am asset tricks, but I can definitely clear boxes. I'd like to learn transfers and air quarters for real. Okay, so do they have any, let's see. Is there a quarter to resi? So quarter to resis are really fun. And with that, you could practice blasting that quarter without much consequence. So usually they'd have a quarter to resi after the resi box jump. And I think that would be really cool. That would be something you should work on because then, like I said, you could just pedal at that quarter as fast as you can and air into the resi. And it'd just be a really good way to start progressing at airs because when you're doing it at a real quarter, there's that coping that you can case. And a resi quarter is usually pushed back so that you can land in the quarter, even if you would have cased a real quarter. And that's a good way to, that's a good thing, I think, to work on. Transfers, that all just comes down to just general bike control, I think, and being able to control your speed and to jump. And so to do that, I'd say spend a lot of time just jumping the boxes, but in different ways. So jump the boxes like you normally do, but now try to go a little bit slower than you just did to clear the box and try and racer through it. Try and push through the box jump with less speed than you had before. Then go a little bit faster and try to boost the box jump without overshooting it. And the way that you hit, like you're hitting them pretty much. Yeah, I want to say the same, but that's not really true. You've got to hit them pretty differently to racer. Like when I racer, I'm absorbing a lot of the lip and then I'm throwing my weight straight forward instead of up like I normally would. And same with like say boosting, you're throwing your weight straight up instead of through. That way you get more air, so you don't overshoot it. But figuring out like those three different ways to have that kind of control when you're jumping, John, I think would give you a good ability to do big transfers. So uh and you could probably work on that on the resi and like not have too much of an issue. Like jump the resi like normal and then literally cut that speed in half and see if you can clear it. Half the speed, see if you can push through it enough, and then go twice as fast and see if you can boost the hell out of it. I think that'd be a lot of fun, but that would give you the yeah, the opportunity to improve on like just jumping skills in general. Those things are things that people don't really think about too much. Jared loved his momentums for the short time that he owned them. Um, Jared, what do you have now? The ones that came on the We the People? Okay, John's wondering what are some tricks that will start to give you some real commitment. I think spins over boxes are a pretty scary one because if you don't finish that rotation, you're going to crash, right? So that's one that you've got to commit to, and you can't go to 360 a box and then say, "Whoops, I changed my mind," because at that point you're already backwards on the box jump. So you've got to commit to that. Anything that requires you to like throwing bar spins, that's a huge commitment because you can take your hand off and do a one hander and put your hand on, but like taking your hand off and then actually flicking the bar spin is a big step towards that, you know. So I don't know if if you want to do bar spins, you could try, I'd say maybe 1 foot cans or no foot cans. That could kind of ease you into say like the amount of time your feet spend off the pedals would be similar to that of a tail whip. No footers, if you really want to extend them, or one thing I like to do actually is do a no footer, but run in place. So like jump no footer and like just do like 2 runs like that and then pull the bike up into you. That's kind of fun. I don't know if that's a real trick, but it's kind of fun. Okay, John, don't die. Roman says, what is a good tire pressure? I run 80. Some people change it based on what they're riding, but I ride 80. I think it's the best because it's a little bit squishy. So if I land flat on something, it doesn't kill my wrists. But it's also inflated enough that I don't have much rolling resistance. So it's really easy to go fast and maintain my speed. Pop T says, what is the difference between 8.75 and a 9-inch standover? The difference is a quarter of an inch. Thank you. Just kidding. I mean, not just that, that is the difference, but basically standover height, there's not like it's not that big of a deal. The way that I look at it is like a lower standover height is going to make tail whips inevitably easier because the frame's lower, so you can get it past your foot when you do a tail whip. Same with no footed cans. There's no frame in the way, so the amount of time it takes to lift your knees up and over is going to be less because you don't have to lift them up as high. And then same thing with a taller standover height. Bar spins are easier because the seat's higher up. So when your seat's really low and you do a bar spin, your bike does this. It dips to the side. And that's why it's really important to pinch your knees. So with a taller standover height, it puts it up closer to your knees so it doesn't dip as much. And then it's also really easy to grab for toboggans. But it's going to make whips and no-footed cans a little bit harder. So you kind of got to pick your balances there. But a lot of it is just preference on how it looks. Like it's really not that big of a deal. All right. So we're out of questions. We went an extra 24 minutes for you, Jared. I hope that was good. But hey guys, I'm gonna start. I don't know. Maybe go eat some lunch. I don't know. We'll find out. But I've got to film these comparison videos. That's what I've got to do. But anyway, oh look. Okay, Saturn. Last question. Last question. How do you boost a quarter? I can't figure it out. I've been riding for years. Dude, you got to go really fast. You've got to go way fast at that quarter, and then you've got to pull back a lot harder than you normally would. And it's always hard to find the balance between pulling back really hard and landing flat and pulling back just enough so that you don't case it, because every quarter is a little bit different. But the biggest thing is you need to add some more speed into it, and that's going to allow you to go higher. So more speed equals more pullback on the quarter. You've got to pull back harder if you're going faster. Less speed, usually less pullback, because the quarter is going to pop you. So add some more speed, add some more pullback, and you'll be solid. But okay, cool. Guys, I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and hope you guys enjoy your week. Like, for real, get out. John, have a good time at Ray's. Jared, I hope you go hit the pump track. But guys, get out, ride your bikes this weekend. I'm going to do it. I'll try and film a couple clips, and you guys film your clips so that you can show me. So yeah, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with me.